My feet so fat I can't get into my roller skates. And my neck and chest don't fit anymore. Look at this. It's a stick up. It don't work. I do this at a bank robbery, I look like a fool.
What up, yo?
A ghost.
A ghost.
Hey, what's up, pups? Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. Just a show that takes a look at what's happening in pop culture, whether that's good, bad, ugly, We kind of keep ourselves up to date, sharp about everything, with the goal of hopefully just reminding ourselves and hopefully others out there that back in the day, things were awesome. That nostalgic spirit was strong. We could do things, not have to worry about, any sort of bastardizing or anything like that. Like what's happening nowadays in the pop culture field. But hopefully we are working towards removing that stuff and bringing it back the good old days. And that's not to say, everything was perfect back in the day, but at least we were entertained for entertainments. So if you enjoy that sort of thing, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Right now we're on YouTube, Rumble, and X. And we've got some articles pulled up here. The biggest one, of course, being Assassin's Creed. We have talked about it for quite a while, whatever it popped up and whatever I found interesting. But Assassin's Creed Shadows is out. The latest big thing was they were prepping a bunch of lawyers ready for any sort of harassment against developers. And, already starting off really gay. And, of course, now that it is out, clips are surfacing and the game looks like woke garbage. Looks like crap. And I think it's doomed to fail. I think it's going to suck. And basically, from what I'm seeing, it looks like, as everyone was saying, this is indeed true. The biggest thing is that Ubisoft is trying to now replace units sold with player count. Player count doesn't mean anything. What matters is how much did the game sell. So we got some articles pulled up here, amongst other things. So let's hop into it. What's up, Loki? Well, bam. Alrighty. So starting off, we have That Park Place with Snow White bombs on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics rip apart Disney latest remake starring Rachel Zegler despite early hype. So this was another thing that was bouncing around as well. The biggest thing was like someone commented on her back hair, and so that was all up in a frenzy. So there were some articles about that, but I don't really care on that sort of thing. What I care about is how this is doing. So the Snow White Shield Brigade isn't going to like this. Disney's Rachel Zegler-led Snow White remake splatted onto Rotten Tomatoes today, and the results were far less flattering than the glowing social media reviews of just a few days ago. The embargo is lifted and the truth is finally out. Disney's live-action Snow White has officially earned a rotten rating on Rotten Tomatoes, clocking in at a dismal 49%. Womp, womp, womp. It is a brutal wake-up call, especially when contrasted with the studio's carefully controlled early social media reactions that bizarrely labeled the film a, quote, triumphant return to form for Disney and called Rachel Zegler a, quote, supernova. Oh my gosh, the delusion. And there it is right there. The sharp drop in critical reception highlights exactly why Disney delayed lifting the review embargo until just 24 hours before release. The studio knew the real reviews would paint a far less flattering picture than the hand-picked influencers and Disney-friendly outlets who shower the film with premature praise. And at this point, that is to be expected. With Disney, with Star Wars, with video games, there's always going to be the shills that jump on out and we'll try to hype it up before it actually shows up. But then again, I don't even go off of Rotten Tomatoes either, because it's all just a big scam. All just a big scam. The critics speak, no magic here. Here's just a sampling of what critics on Rotten Tomato had to say about Snow White. You have Odie Henderson. I had high hopes that Snow White would make me happy. Instead, this dopey remake made me sleepy and grumpy. Dark Sky Lady from Nerdist. That was from Boston Globe. Dark Sky Lady Nerdist with an uneven combination of forgettable music, bland choreography, and a few genuine laughs. Snow White fails to find and maintain its footing. Jonathan Itkonen of Toisto.net. This is a film that tries very hard to not take risks or even acknowledge the risks exist. The result is a hodgepodge of awful CGI, contrived new songs, and a story full of plot and lacking in substance. Well, when you try to make the main protagonist to be an independent woman, which is not even the story whatsoever, of course it's going to have no plot whatsoever and will lack substance. And then Abe Frintanzer from the awards Buzz, the reimagining of a story everyone knows lacks imagination, essentially translating a solid text with the least possible creativity and depth. Apparently, even positive reviews are barely positive. Perhaps more telling is how lukewarm even the positive reviews are. The majority of them boil down to, well, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Oh boy. Yeah, you don't want to get into that at all. That's not really good. Here are some of the fresh rated positive reviews on Rotten Tomato for Snow White. Movie Bob Central, a slight but agreeable adaptation. It's not an adaptation. Give me a break. If it was an adaptation, it'd be like exactly what the original was established to be. That in its best moments offers similar charms to a well-mounted theme park parade, or maybe Disney on Ice. Lola Lamb Chops said, good enough for kids. I wouldn't think so. Punch Drunk's critics, it's not quite the fairest of them all, but hardly a poisonous apple either. Oh, that's just the poison that you've already ingested talking there, buddy. It isn't great, it isn't terrible, it's just fair. With friends like these, who need enemies? These so-called positive takes hardly sound like ringing endorsements. Instead, they read more like faint praises, the kind you expect when critics are trying to find something nice to say about an underwhelming product. Yep. Equivalent of going to see your friends in a horrible stage play and telling them that was something. So these Snow White Rotten Tomato reviews are certainly a far cry from the over-the-top praise shouted by earlier social media reviewers who gushed about Zegler's performance and positioned the film as a triumphant return to form. Now that the embargo has lifted, it's clear that these early reactions were more about access to optics than honest critique. Disney likely knew exactly what it was doing by keeping the review embargo tight. It was a calculated move to delay the inevitable flood of honest criticism until ticket sales were locked in. But with Snow White sitting at 49%, the facade has crumbled. Right there. Really all you need to say. The contrast couldn't be starker. A handful of social media influencers declaring this film an instant classic, versus seasoned critics pointing out its hollow storytelling, uninspired visuals, and lack of creative spark. Question is now, will audience buy what Disney is selling, or will they trust the reviews that finally tell the true story? Box office projections give us a strong hint that Rachel Zegler might actually prove the shills right and be a true supernova, the definition of which is the cataclysmic explosion of a star. Ouch. Very true indeed. Well, there you go. Not surprised. Not surprised whatsoever. You knew this was going to be a dumpster fire, especially with the leaked photos of the original dwarfs. Now, being replaced with CGI when Peter Dinklage bitched about it and said, well, we're not using for that, when other small people gladly would have taken up the opportunity to play that. Whoa. So, from Video Game Chronicle, 2/3 of total PC playtime last year was on games that are at least 6 years old, a report says. The vast majority of time spending playing across all formats were on older games. A new industry report suggests that the vast majority of players' time is still spent on older games. In a talk during the Games Developer Conference this week, Newzoo shared highlights from its third annual games industry report, which includes data on consumer habits such as spend and gameplay during 2024. The report notes that the majority of players continue to spend their time on older games last year, with a much smaller percentage of total playtime spent on games released in 2024. So, according to the report, last year, 67% of the total hours spent playing PC games was on games that are 6 years old or more, with the most popular examples being Counter-Strike 2 and Go, Leagues of Legends, Roblox, Dota 2, and Fortnite. A further 25% of PC playtime was spent on games that are 2 to 5 years old, with only the remaining 8% spent on 2024 releases. And if you guys can see that, we've had the games listed have the percentages right there. While the difference was less stark on consoles, it still remained, with the amount of playtime dedicated to 6-plus-year-old games sitting at 44% on PlayStation and 49% on Xbox. Both console formats saw 15% of total playtime spent on 2024 releases. Overall playtime hours are growing, but concentrated in AAA and at times cannibalistic, the report said, adding, the battle for audience hours is fierce and near zero sum. The report claims that an average of 10 games were played per person on Steam in 2024, with similar averages of 10 on PlayStation and 9 on Xbox. Players had to have played each game for at least 2 hours for it to count towards their total. Play habits are calcifying into fewer games, reducing the addressable market for new launches, it says. The report also states that yearly console revenues spent on full game price games totaled around $19.9 billion, which it says is down 14% compared to 2023. Newzoo puts this down to 2024's inability to match 2023's strong release slates due to the release of such titles like Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man 3. Wait, Spider-Man 3? Isn't it Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and then Spider-Man 2? Anyway, Baldur's Gate 3 and Super Mario Bros. Wonder in 2023. There you go. Yeah, and I believe we read an article from the past as well stating that the people are still playing the retro games too. So we have that going for us. Well, Loki over on YouTube says Assassin's Creed Shadows is great. Oh, not from what I've seen. We'll get to that. Speaking of Baldur's Gate 3, by the way, we hop on over to Niche Gamer here. Baldur's Gate 3 director says single-player games aren't dead. They just have to be, quote, good. So the topic of single-player games and their success has come up once again, not by corporate suits pushing live service games, but in defense of solo games by none other than Baldur's Gate 3 director Sven Venk, I guess is how we'll pronounce it. Well, people will always play older games. Very true. I do. I think there's a lot more substance to them than there are to the games nowadays. So while the very popular tactical RPG does support online multiplayer and even has cross-play support, the vast majority of Baldur's Gate 3 players enjoy the game entirely by themselves. I would tend to agree. I didn't play anybody with anybody on my playthrough. How I played the original Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Other games that are entirely single player like Black Myth Wukong, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and even the classic Final Fantasy remasters have raked in tens of millions of copies sold. I need to play Wukong. Kingdom Come, I'm going to skip over because I don't care. Despite this, some big publishers or corporations keep discounting the success of single player games and continually push live service or games as a service releases. Discrediting single player games raised new concerns with Baldur's Gate 3 director, though he's, let me move my mouse, firm in belief they're going nowhere. That time of year again when big single player games are declared dead, Vinky said, use your imagination. They're not. They just have to be good. I feel like that should just be the model to any game. It just has to be good. I would take that a step further and say not just be good, it should be amazing. He added, the why of this tweet is hearing chatter about important industry figures stating there's no future for brackets big, or I guess parentheses, big single player games, which means discouraging investment in big single player games, which bothers me because I don't think they have it right. The problem is that this type of attitude has consequences because before you know it, it becomes a mantra. Glenn clarified. So this is just me trying to give some counterweight. I think good single player games will continue to do as well as they have always done. They just need to be good and innovative enough. And also not be woke. That should be attached onto that statement too. He's not going to say it, but I would definitely agree it should not be woke. Or more importantly, it should not cater to a retarded ideology. And instead just be good, as he stated earlier. Now, if you want to make a game like that, by all means, go ahead. Then you'll get games like, Dustborn and Concord and Assassin's Creed Shadows and Last of Us Part 2. Some of those games getting really hyped and even rigged with gaming awards, while others failed miserably right out the gate. You can also throw in Dragon Age Veilguard as well. So David Goldfarb, wow, what a last name, Goldfarb, almost close to fart, but replace that T with a B. One of the main desires behind Battlefield Bad Company and Payday 2 replied to the Larian CEO saying, can I bring you to all my meetings, Sven? Fucking exhausted. And then it talks about how you can get Baldur's Gate. It has to be good, Sven mentioned, and I agree. And that's also to where I get annoyed with, to where you didn't need all the debauchery that was in Baldur's Gate 3. You could say that was in 1 and 2. It's been a while since I played the game, but I never got that much debauchery out of 1 and 2. But that was all text, like a lot of it was text-based anyway. You didn't need to see the cutscenes happen. It was, if anything, told in text and through the voice acting. But that's what bothers me with these type of remakes and modern games that get bastardized, is that they insert a bunch of woke bullshit into it. And then if the game succeeds, then they'll go and be like, well, this game was successful, blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, if the game itself is based on wokeness, it will fail. We saw that with Dustborn and Concord. This is why they go after established franchises, because then they can hide behind that. And see, when it fails, they'll say, well, you guys are bigots, blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. If the game succeeds, then they'll say, well, it was because of the progressive choices that we made the game successful. You see, I hate this crap. This is why they purposely do this sort of shit. So I will be honest, I did not I looked at some articles and found some that really interest me. We have one later, we'll kind of get to the good ones, but rest of them here is Assassin's Creed Shadows. So let's hop into it. Oh, first of all, let's do that. We'll do this one first. So this was released yesterday. This is over at Niche Gamer. So Assassin's Creed Shadows Shrine Destruction prompts response from Japanese government. Uh-oh. The Prime Minister that would be the Japanese Prime Minister, Shigeru Ishiba, said that he would like to discuss legal measures when asked about the depictions of shrines and other locations in games like Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I believe I saw something where they made a patch to where you can't destroy them anymore. Good fucking job there, buddies. Way to go. Yeah, we'll slap on a Band-Aid on it. Sorry. According to the Japanese site GameSpark, the topic of Assassin's Creed Shadows and how players were able to destroy environmental objects and kill Japanese civilians was brought up at the House of Councilors Budget Committee. Lawmaker Keita Hiroyuki brought up the depictions of the shrines and noted that Ubisoft has allegedly not reached out to the shrine for permission, and that if they do so, then they would be willing to consult the relevant departments and ministries. Keita went to express concern that the depictions of destruction seen in the game may be related to an increase in tourist pollution. Oh, man. Ouch. Wherein tourists are vandalizing landmarks with graffiti and carvings without respect for the location. Now, that I agree with. That is bullshit. Now, I will, to Ubisoft's defense, like, I am curious that if any games from the past had to ask for permission in terms of, like, we want this setting and it's going to be destructible. So I will kind of give credence to that, as I'm one to where I think government should stay out of a lot of shit. But I do find this funny, because it's just another reason in how Ubisoft did not give a shit when making Assassin's Creed Shadows. Yeah, here we go. I was correct. Literally in the same article. A day one patch for Assassin's Creed Shadows has reportedly been released, which limits the sort of actions which can be taken at shrines in similar locations. The Assassin's Creed franchise is known for being inspired by history, remember me, and using real-world locations. In the past, the game has featured cathedrals and similar holy sites with little incident. Were they destructible, though, or were you just walking around through it? I stopped playing Assassin's Creed after I played all the games up until 3. And I probably stopped halfway through because I just got tired of it. And then it's set to launch March 20th, which is today. All right, well, there you go. So, again, Ubisoft not caring and having to slap out a quick day one patch to not even get rid of it, but to limit that actions. Okie doke. Here we go. You know what? I'll go ahead and I will pull up an article that's claiming that it's dominating. Over here on Tech for Gamers, Assassin's Creed Shadows currently dominating Steam as #1 global bestseller. So Assassin's Creed Shadows has proven to be a huge critical hit so far. Sure. Ubisoft has been praised for delivering on the promise of a large Japanese open world, and the game's technical side has also impressed analysts. Oh, not from the clips I've seen over on X. While the latest Assassin's Creed RPG has yet to prove its commercial success, the game is currently showing positive signs and has already become Steam's top-selling title. Following multiple large-scale disappointments, Ubisoft would be more than happy to see its latest AAA release performing above expectations in every way possible. So here we have a screenshot right here. As per Steam DB, Assassin's Creed Shadows is dominating every other title on Steam at the moment. This includes free-to-play games like Counter-Strike 2 and even those that are heavily discounted for now. This is all smoke and mirrors. They said the exact same shit with Dragon Age Veilguard, and look what happened. It plummeted. I might also add, I don't know if we can, we can zoom in. So this is the ranking. Look how many people are playing compared to Counter-Strike. Just take that in. Assassin's Creed Shadows, compared to all these rankings right here, is the second lowest one out of the 9. I'm just pointing that out there. So this picture right here isn't probably helping your article here, at least to me, in my opinion. And let's see. So it's at 40,000 right now. So we've had, so that's like third, looks like, because we have 34, 38. So 1, 2, 3, yeah, or fourth. For online activity, it's ranked fourth. Not ranked fourth. What would that be? 6 at the time of the screenshot. It's dominating, folks. It's dominating, and we'll see earlier, or as you can see in my thumbnail for YouTube, Ubisoft posted a thing, or Assassin's Creed posted a thing for like, we just hit 1 million player count, dude. Player count doesn't matter. How much of this shit did you sell? Oh my gosh, dude. Smoke and mirrors. They are on damage control as far as I'm concerned. So what makes this situation so interesting is that Ubisoft's latest blockbuster has only reached or recently climbed the charts. Ahead of it, why wasn't it ranked number 1 right away? I thought this game was so amazing. It should have been number 1 right away. Like in everything. The game was nowhere to be found at the top of this list. But this changed after the positive press from media. Oh my God. This is, to be fair, I try to branch out in my articles that I read. This changed after the positive press from the media, aka bought out, chilled. It seems Steam users bought Assassin's Creed Shadow in droves, following more positive than expected review. You cannot say that people sought out to bought it. I know for a fact there are some people out there that got the game because someone gifted it to them. Do not make it sound like it's because people wanted the game. In droves, following more positive than expected review scores. At the time of this writing, the game has already reached 40K concurrent players, and I think that's where it peaked. A major improvement over the player count of less than 30K from a few hours ago. Oh, do you have a more recent? Let's see. Is there a more up-to-date version of this? I doubt they're going to. It should be noted that Assassin's Creed Shadow marked the return of Ubisoft's focus on Steam as a platform. This return can be considered a major success, as the game currently boasts a nearly 80% rating after receiving nearly 2,000 reviews. And like I literally just pointed out, it's the lowest positive rating. It's the second lowest. Nearly 80? Your screenshot shows 78.36%. Oh my gosh, not even close. Oh my gosh, it's nearly 80%. It's 78. We're off by 2%, but whatever. It's nearly 80. Nearly 80 to me would be like 78, 79. Well, I guess I shouldn't have said that because I just insulted myself because it is at 78. I'll take that. See, I make mistakes. But still, whatever. Elsewhere, the title was recently seen in the bestsellers list of Amazon's PS5 games. It was also topping the charts on the Player Store, setting the stage for a major commercial success for Ubisoft. This you cannot say. How many times have we heard game companies going, right now it's the number one thing, so it's a success. This is what they do. This is the same bullshit that they pulled with The Last of Us Part 2. They don't care about the decline. They don't care about they just look at the pre-orders and where it is like within the first couple hours, and that's the numbers they're going to roll with. Never mind that it's slowly going downhill. Never mind that. They don't care. Gosh, I hate that crap. What are your thoughts on Assassin's Creed Shadow's launch so far? I think it looks like absolute garbage, personally. Well, there you go. Nearly 80%. See, like I said, I make mistakes. I like how I was making fun of the fact that it was at 78%. It says nearly 80, and then my examples, I said 78. to be human, I guess. However, we have that Park Place, who actually says the exact opposite. Assassin's Creed Shadows flops on Steam launch day, and it fails to break into the top 30 games as access media sites heap critical praise. There you go. Let's see what this has to say. The release of Assassin's Creed Shadows was supposed to be Ubisoft's saving grace. After months of delays, backlash, and marketing campaigns, marred by controversy, all eyes were on how the game would perform on its launch day. But the numbers are in for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and they're not looking good for Ubisoft, particularly on Steam. Amazing. This article says it was dominating on Steam. This one is saying it's not. So we have Grumps here. Right now, Assassin's Creed Shadow is the 32nd spot for games being played right now on Steam. This was done at 10:31 a.m. This tweet. He made this tweet. There you go. According to Steam charts, Assassin's Creed Shadows peaked at just 41,000 concurrent players on launch day, making it only the 36th most played game on Steam for the day. That is a disastrous result for a big budget AAA backed by one of the largest publisher in the industry. To put it in perspective, Shadows was soundly beaten by older titles like Red Dead Redemption 2, indie favorites like Stardew Valley. I saw that comment too. I saw I think there's still well over 1 million people playing Stardew Valley. That was released what, 6 years ago? Maybe even. I'm bad with dates, as you can tell from my previous reading of the other article, where apparently I'm bad with numbers too. And even the newly released Marvel Rivals, it was also overtaken by titles such as Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Baldur's Gate 3, and Helldivers 2, all of which boast higher player counts and more organic enthusiasm among players. The mainstream media reviews raise eyebrows. Here we go. Despite the lackluster player counts, mainstream gaming outlets have been handing out glowing reviews. What a shock. As of this writing, Assassin's Creed Shadows hold an 81 Metacritic score. Buoyed by a slew of favorable critiques from major publications like IGN, which gives the game its customary 8 out of 10 it reserves for troubled AAA titles.
This guy must be a fag.
That's what I say about IGN. However, a closer look, even, one could say, if I was literate, at these reviews reveals a familiar pattern. High scores coupled with notable caveats. Got a picture right here. 81, 100, but yet... Oh, here we go. It's actually covered right here. For instance, VG247 awarded Shadows a perfect 100, while still admitting in their review, there are problems with Assassin's Creed Shadows for sure, but it's fun to play. Excuse me. That's not how you rank games. If you want to rank the fun factor, a perfect 100, by all means. How a game was acknowledged issues can earn a flawless score is anybody's guess, but it does raise questions about the objectivity of these outlets. Gamers have already begun calling out these inconsistencies, and with user scores yet to be finalized, there's mounting skepticism over whether Ubisoft's latest release will hold up once player feedback begins to pour in. A troubled road to launch. None of this lackluster Steam performance should come as a surprise to anyone who has been following the rocky path Assassin's Creed Shadows has taken to get there. Or here, excuse me. Ubisoft spent the better part of a year fighting one PR disaster after another. The game's focus on Yasuke, a black samurai whose historical role remains debated, was met with skepticism from longtime fans and historians alike. Criticism quickly mounted over historical inaccuracies, questionable design choices, and cultural missteps, such as the ability to damage sacred Japanese shrines. Ubisoft scrambled to patch this out at the last minute, but the damage to its reputation has already been done, and we've seen plenty of it. Yasuke's apparently super-powered Sparta kick. The Toei shrine right here. We've got the rifle core, which they did not get permission, and they didn't change it with the collector's edition stuff. Oh, wrong seasons, all that stuff. This is supposed to be a historical accurate game, by the way. Not the figures, but like the environment. But they can't even get the environment right, apparently. And if they do get it right, apparently you can destroy it, because fuck it. Adding insult to injury, a collector's statue was pulled from sale after being accused of insensitivity and unauthorized use of historical imagery in the game's concept art, sparked further backlash. Elon Musk himself even joined in on the criticism, amplifying the growing discontent across social media. And now we're getting into the financial woes, which we've read, I feel like, so many times. The worst, been regarded as the company's worst financial period to date. Stock value plummeting over 85% in the past 4 years. Mounting debt totaling over $1.4 billion. Underwhelming releases like Skull and Bones and Star Wars Outlaws. Internal unrest has also been brewing, with shareholders demanding accountability from leadership and even calls for CEO Yves Guillemot removal gaining traction. Ubisoft's controversial partnership with the Canadian Government Communications Security Establishment to monitor online discussions has further alienated fans who see it as an attempt to suppress criticism rather than fix the core issue plaguing the company. Uh-oh. Hope they don't come after me. I am just but a salty pup. Now the Assassin's Creed Shadows failing to capture attention even on Steam, the largest PC gaming platform, it's clear Ubisoft's problems aren't going away anytime soon. For a company that once dominated the gaming landscape, today's Steam numbers are a stark reminder of how far Ubisoft has fallen. Whether or not Shadows can recover through sales on other platforms remains to be seen, but one thing is for certain. For certain, this launch is far from the comeback Ubisoft was hoping for. Well, there you go. 2 articles on the complete opposite ends. Let me know what you guys think. I think you guys can tell which article I kind of tip my hat to in terms of it being more accurate. This one right here. I had some other articles pulled up here too. I mean, we're actually moving along fairly quickly. I do have some Twitter accounts pulled up, and we're going to watch some gameplay footage because we have some great ones out there. So anybody who doesn't want to be spoiled, I suggest leave now. I won't be spoiled in the slightest. But we can kind of take a look at what other articles we have up here. Saw that, Jimmy. That's VIP. You read that. A lot of Ryan Reynolds, Justin Baldoni, I guess is how you pronounce it. Rachel Zegler's Snow White movie story spoiled by the British Board of Film Classification. They have trigger warnings. Ooh, let's check this out. This looks retarded. Trigger warnings have increasingly become commonplace, often serving as tools to help audience avoid distress or unsettling content. I'd say get rid of those trigger warnings, and I would even go as far as say to get rid of the rating system, but that's probably not going to go anywhere anytime soon. My advice would be read the back, and that should be all you need. You don't want to play the game? If you're not interested, don't play it. You don't need a stupid trigger warning. The same crap with trailers as well. I saw the trailer. It looks like garbage. I'm not spending money to buy watch the movie, maybe, and buy the movie later when it comes out. Some view this as necessary. It is not necessary, but the current political climate might be such that we could safely assume the majority of people are over being told what might trigger them in a movie. Grow up and go watch Schindler's List, they could say. However, in the case of Disney's recent adaptation of Snow White, the warnings provided to viewers have arguably crossed from helpful caution from a mentality fragile and into outright spoilers. Did I say mentality? Mentally fragile and into outright spoilers. Detracting from the viewing experience by revealing critical plot points ahead of time. Dude, are you kidding me? No. No. I mean, we all know the story of Snow White, but can you imagine trigger warnings becoming more and more, used to explain the plot of the movie before you even watch it? Oh my gosh, that would be terrible. And before you say Snow White has been around since the 30s, everyone knows what happens. Just remember that Rachel Zegler, star of Snow White, told us all that this was a modern retelling. Here's a picture of the Prince and Lord Farquaad over there. Disney's latest reimagining of the classic Snow White is a titular role, and it has already garnered controversy for various reasons, almost all of them involving Zegler herself. However, an unexpected source of contention is now emerging: the film's overly detailed warnings from the British Board of Film Classification, the BBFC. The BBFC can F.O. Among the listed cautions, viewers are explicitly warned about, quote, ominous trees, a character threatening to, quote, to shove something up another's backside. This cannot be real. Are you kidding me? And a woman being, quote, deliberately poisoned. Such descriptions, ostensibly meant to protect sensitive viewers, instead strip away narrative suspense, diminishing the emotional and storytelling impact intended by filmmakers. What should be tense, surprising, or impactful moments now become anticipated scenes, significantly diluting their dramatic effect. Film storytelling thrives on uncertainty and surprise. Audiences find joy and engagement precisely because they don't know exactly what will happen. The journey through a story's plot is fundamentally tied to the experience of discovery. By contrast, explicitly describing plot elements like poisoning or threats between characters in advance remove this vital component, effectively undermining the narrative's purpose. Consider the poisoning warning. Snow White's deliberate poisoning is central to the original narrative and presumably also key in the adaptation. Knowing this in advance converts a dramatic climax in a mundane inevitability. Instead of a shocking or emotionally resonant scene, viewers are primed for this moment, robbing them of genuine reaction and the suspenseful atmosphere filmmakers carefully crafted. Oh, well, to other films, yes. I wouldn't say this film was carefully crafted. Guesses about how Disney might handle this aspect of the story are completely out the window if you already know it's just going to do what the original did. Go figure, eh? Additionally, the bizarre inclusion of ominous trees further exemplifies how overly specific warnings verge in the needless narrative spoilers. Atmosphere's creation is a critical cinematic element, and the presence of ominous imagery, such as unsettling trees, is a classic storytelling device meant to invoke feelings organically. Alerting viewers beforehand unnecessarily preempts natural emotion reaction, dulling the intended effect. Okay, this is kind of just repeating the same thing, literally what I talked about up here. Were there ominous trees? I've only watched Snow White like once, and this was a long time ago. Like, to the point where I really don't remember a whole lot of stuff. But I don't seem to remember ominous trees. Yeah, this is, again, I think it's been stated well enough in the previous descriptions up here. So they're kind of, to me, this is now getting a little bit padding in terms of the article. Of course, the original intent behind content warning is commendable, offering sensitivity towards diverse audience needs and avoiding undue emotional harm. I'd say just don't be a pussy. If you can't handle it, then don't see the movie or walk out, leave, ask for your money back, I guess. Don't need people flapping up trigger warnings. Because if they're really like explaining certain, like if this is legit, like I want to see the actual picture of them explaining this stuff. It's only going to get worse. I hope it doesn't, but it could only get worse to the point where it's going to be like a monologue, a paragraph of like, yeah, so here's the plot of the story. You might get offended by it when it comes up. So, keep an eye out. Oh my goodness. Must be balance between viewer protection and artistic integrity. I agree. And you want to know what the funny thing is? This was totally fine back in the day. All of this shit is current modern progressive bullshit because people are pussies. Generalized warnings such as intense scenes or moments of peril sufficiently inform viewers without directly spoiling anything. No, we don't even need that stuff. Even I don't want it, but all you need is PG. Just stamp PG R. PG-13. That's all you need. That's all you need to tell. That's all you need to show. You don't even need to say like this contains mild violence and sexual suggestions. And you don't even need that. It's responsible for the people to know what they're watching. That does not mean telling you the whole damn story of the movie. Gosh, these people are pathetic. And don't get me wrong. If you guys ever watched the documentary, this film has yet been rated, which talks about the rating system, which is a big pile of shit. South Park creators talked about it too. I believe Matt Stone was on it. I remember watching it in college. It's garbage. These retards don't know what they're talking about. And they're a censor group. It's 100% a censor group. And how it's still around is pathetic. The audience experience hinges on preservation of suspense, surprise. Yeah, so I feel this, man, I wish there was a picture of showcasing like where these warnings were. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh man, look at that ratio. Oh, where'd it go? What the heck? There it is. Dude, oh, that like and dislike ratio. Ouch. That must have sting. Alrighty. All right, folks, here we go. We're now jumping over to X, and we're going to take a look at some clips here of Assassin's Creed to show you guys just how amazing the gameplay is. Here you go, right here. Thank you. 1 million players and counting at 219. Got Savvy here. How many sales? Why didn't you say sales, though? Valiant Renegade. Players, how many copies have been sold? Money is what matters. Money. You all are on the verge of absolute bankruptcy and looking to strip the company for parts with Tencent. How many copies have you sold? Very true. This person points out, and only 40K on stream? Lol, right. Steam players didn't get the memo, it seems. Players don't equal sales. This game costs anywhere from $250 million to $350 million to make. How many more players to break even? And then, of course, you got the shills. What happened to Go Woke Go Broke? 1 million players. I remember when companies used to say 1 million copies sold. Historical accuracy. Oh my gosh. Then of course y'all are in these comments mad AF that people are actually enjoying the game. Oh, dude. Yeah, sure, whatever there, bucko. That's from the official Assassin's Creed. thing. Got Manga Lawyer here. I thought I had this set up here. Didn't mean to. Oh, here you go. Here's your average 70 quadruple A experience. Does the boat identify as a whale? There you go. Good job there, Ubisoft. Ah, my boy Stuttering Craig. 2 hours of Assassin's Creed credits. 2 hours of people that could have been fired because they provide nothing to the game. Remember back in the day, remember old retro games that still hold up today because people are actually playing to this? Wait, Loki, wait, how are people mad at this? It's fun to play what? Look, Loki, if you enjoy the game, that's fine, but people didn't want what was in it. It can be fun to play is just one of many categories, my friend. That doesn't mean the game's good. Let's see, what else? Oh, man. Oh, yeah, we got this guy right here. Oh, here you go, right here. Here's the final boss. Spoiler warning. If anybody's watching this, this is the final boss battle. We're going to watch it. Because I'm not going to be playing this game anytime soon. Let's see. It says, Assassin's Creed Shadows' final boss fight features a battle accompanied by diversive African music, followed by terrible dialogue, and then it ends. I've heard of the voice, like, well, I'll look up the voice acting. It's terrible. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Not trying to go like, no. Not trying to like go through all of Manga Lawyer's X feed. Let's see. I just thought I saw a bunch of clips from him, but apparently I should have actually had them all in a separate tab. Apparently, read. Oh my gosh! You type in like Assassin's Creed in the search bar in X, and it says Assassin's Creed Shadows gay. Oh, here you go. Let's see. Can I open this? I guess I can we'll just drag it over. Yeah, see, learning the law. There's your gay scene. Here's a clip. Oh, there's no music. Dang it. Oh, here we go.
I do not think I have ever seen you quite so tongue-tied.
Not yet, at least. I hope you aren't easily chilled.
Oh my gosh, this dialogue.
Think someone might see us?
Maybe.
Do you care?
Not at all.
This guy must be a fag.
Oh gosh, there you go. Wow, it took him that long to start macking, huh? Yeah, then he also, I saw this too. He like bangs what, Nobunaga's sister or something? Like, oh my gosh. Oh, here we go. Check this out. Assassin's Creed Shadows may have problems, but it's so fun to play. 10 out of 10. This is from Yellow Flash. No, they have the they don't see me.
Hey now. Stop her! I'll take you! I do not fear death. You can't hide forever! Your path ends now.
Wow.
I lost sight of them. You can't hide forever!
And people try to say, like, this is just like Ghost of Tsushima. Give me a break. Oh my gosh. Ridiculous. Where's the scene where he, like, is talking to, like, Obu or Nobunaga's, like, sister or something? Oh, I've seen this one. Here you go.
Lust is a journey. Lust is a journey of 1,000 steps that begins with a kiss.
This is what people want in games, by the way. This is what, you know, the companies are saying, we need this. Gosh, that voice acting is terrible.
Lust is a journey of 1,000 steps.
Lust is a journey over 1,000 steps. Dude, fire the voice director. Who the hell said that's a good take? Oh my gosh. Well, there you go. I do thoroughly enjoy just here, I'll even show you. Like Assassins. Like I just typed in Assassin's Creed. Whatever. But there you go. If you There's all your gay shit if you want it. Oh my gosh, this game looks like garbage. On that note, let's end with something uplifting here. Check this out. Have you guys heard of the Nintendo PlayStation? So this was actually a thing. Ken Kutaragi has a Nintendo PlayStation in his closet, and it has been emerged. The PlayStation co-creator still owns one of the prototype consoles. Yes, you heard that right. Nintendo and PlayStation console like fused together. Insane. The photographer Julian Domansky met Kutaragi earlier this month and revealed that he got to hold his Nintendo PlayStation, posting a series of photos on X showing it in detail as spotted by Time Extension. I never thought I'd see something so rare, but today I actually got to fondle a Nintendo PlayStation, Domansky wrote. Interesting choice of words. The last one in existence was believed to have sold at auction for $300,000. Turns out the ex-CEO of Sony CEA has one in his closet. Ken Kutaragi, top bloke. Dude, look at that. Look at that. That is insane. Oh, they're not individual pictures. Wow. Can you imagine if this would have continued? What a change the gaming world would be. It's said that around 200 units were made of the Nintendo PlayStation, the prototype console created in the early 1990s as a planned partnership between Sony and Nintendo. The PlayStation was originally envisioned as a CD add-on for the Super Nintendo, which would boost Nintendo's console with significant processing power and speed. However, Sony's partnership with Nintendo fell through, which led to Sony further developing the PlayStation as a standalone system and entering the console market alone. Back in 2020, a Nintendo PlayStation prototype, then considered the only one known still in existence, was sold at an auction for $360,000, which included a buyer premium of $60,000. Wow. Based on Demansky's photo, Futaragi's prototype is far from a different phase of the production process because it has some features that look slightly different from those of the previous auctioned Nintendo PlayStation. Let's see. What do we got here? I mean, the coloring's kind of different. Futaragi's prototype has a vibrant blue PlayStation logo as opposed to the duller color of one of the auctioned in 2020. Its eject and reset buttons also have their names printed directly onto the buttons rather than above them. Futaragi's prototype also appears to be in better condition than that of the previous discovered prototype, showing far less of the yellowing typical in some consoles of age. Wow. Look at that. Now that's how you know that gaming is awesome. This is what I like to see right here. Just stuff from the past coming back and showcasing what, and just creating thoughts of what could have happened if it actually went through, if the merging of Nintendo and PlayStation didn't fall through. Well, we are officially over the 1 hour mark that I usually do. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I personally declare Assassin's Creed Shadows a failure. And of course, shills, review critics, all the like, they're going to hype it up as saying, nope, it succeeded, it's good. But as so many people pointed out, no one cares about player count. How many copies are being sold? That's what we want to know. And I'll be honest, I will not be surprised at all if another The Last of Us Part 2 comes into play. You know, leaks came out, everyone hated it, and they did everything in their power to make sure that no, it's good. It's really good. You know, when Last of Us Part 2 was terrible, so many returns. That's what I'm going to see. Well, I take back what I just said, but will not be surprised if I see it, is what I meant to say. Let's go ahead and end the stream here with taking a look at games that are actually good being released throughout the history here. We'll do today and tomorrow's games here. So I need to like switch the time for Game Facts so it stops doing like the next day. All right, so Shining Forces for Genesis was released in Japan 33 years ago. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, look at that, 28 years ago. Tekken 3, Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories, Ark the Lad, Twilight of the Spirits. Don't know that one, but that one seems interesting. We got another Yu-Gi-Oh! Game, Reshef of Destruction, The Elder Scrolls, Oblivion, Dragon Ball Z Shin Budokai, Another Road. I played that game. Got Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl, I guess. Another Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. Dang, a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Games. Armored Core, if you like that. You got Pokemon Ranger, Resident Evil Operations. Oh gosh, the terrible Silent Hill HD collection. Oh. Look at that. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Man, we got some solid games here. Samurai Warriors 4, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Look at GameFAQs adding on Assassin's Creed Shadows. Wait, Bleach Rebirth of Souls? Did that finally get released? I thought that still had some coming out, but take a look at what comes out tomorrow. Phantasy Star 2, Kirby's Dream Land 2. Oh my gosh, Pokemon Snap, Wario Land 3, Castlevania Circle of the Moon, F-Zero Maximum Velocity. Oh wow, the Game Boy Advance came out. yesterday, or not yesterday, tomorrow, 24 years ago. Mega Man Battle Network, Yu-Gi-Oh! Dungeons Dice Monster, Blood Omen 2, Time Splitters, Future Projects, Metal Gear Acid 2. I never played the Metal Gear. Suikoden, oh gosh, 5. The Godfather, Dragon Ball Z, Arakanaru Densetsu. What's that one? Ooh. New Dragon Ball Z game. I've got some Dragon Ball Z games I still need to play too that I want to share with you guys. What's the media? I want to see what this is. Oh my gosh, it looks like it reminds me of Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2. Nice. I'll have to take a look at that. What is this? The strategy turn-based card battle. I mean, I actually like those games. Dragon Ball Z, what is it? Super Saiyan Super Saiyan Dentetsu, I believe. Super Nintendo 1 RPG. Really good game. Never got released over here. I do also have Moby games, so I guess we can go ahead and look here real quick. Konami Group Corporation was established in 1973 on this day of March 19th. That was 19th. We're on 20. Getting all mixed up. Oh, look at that. Dragon Ball Z Super Budoden. First one's very rough, but the second and third one are good. I played that game for Super Nintendo. It should be in my uploaded somewhere on my channel. But that game's out there. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. As we stated. The price Dragon Ball Z Super Budoden wasn't listed. The Game Boy Advance version of TMNT. The Godfather, the Black Hand Edition for the Wii came out in the US. Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword for Nintendo DS. WWE Legends of WrestleMania for the PlayStation 3. Looked like United Kingdoms. I kind of scrolled down before I finished reading everything. Ninja Gaiden 3 for the PlayStation 3. Duke Nukem 3D, the Megaton Edition, worldwide for Steam. You like your Duke Nukem. Oh, dude, how is Kirby Superstar not listed on the 21st? Really, GameFAQs? You missed Kirby Superstars? Let me check. Yeah, they had Kirby Dreamland too, but not Superstars? Oh, well, there you guys go. Whoops. Kirby Dreamland 2. Kirby Superstars for Japan. I remember playing the crap out of Pokemon Snap. I need to play Pokemon Snap 2. Silent Hill play novel. Oh. Oh gosh, Bruce Lee Return of the Legend. I'm surprised we never got a good Bruce Lee game. I remember that one Bruce Lee game for Xbox, and it's just so bad. Oh, they messed it up so bad. Darksiders complete for Germany. Ooh, Infamous Second Son, but Mexico. Alrighty. Well, there you guys go. That was today's show. So I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, like I said, in the end, these are just my opinions, but Assassin's Creed, I declare, for me, has failed. And and if anything, Ubisoft is majorly on damage control. Which I've said it before, and I do not care, and I'll say it again. If any company needs to go down to teach a lesson, I guess you could say, to not to more teach a lesson, set an example to other gaming studios not to do this stupid crap, I say it's Ubisoft. And I do not have any remorse whatsoever if the company goes down. Because they brought this on themselves. Well, there you guys go. I know I'm not getting Assassin's Creed Shadows anytime soon. I've seen enough to know that I wouldn't enjoy it when there's other games that do it so much better. But you guys do what you will, is that. But yes, if you enjoyed the show, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on notifications to get notified when I go live. Usually 8 p.m. Central Time. Tuesdays and Thursdays is this show, either with a guest or solo. And then Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I do game streaming. We've been doing Okami and Tomb Raider 4. And I would like to start up another game here. I might even maybe do a theme where I play like PlayStation-only games, ranging from whenever. And we'll see. We'll see about that. We were on YouTube, Rumble, and X, so check me out over there and subscribe and help support the channel that way. I'd greatly appreciate it. But with that being said, let's go ahead and see if we can do any ratings. I see someone followed over on Rumble. Thanks for the follow. I'm not seeing anybody that I follow on Rumble. What about YouTube? What about the tubes? Oh, here you go. Vara. Or Vara. Vara Dark is playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. So, you could say, well, you just took those clips out of context, Greg. And I will say, all I did was go on X and find the clips. I didn't make them. So why don't you be the judge for yourself and go see it? Go watch Vara. He's playing it. All right, pups. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Hopefully, I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks a lot for the support. Take care. God bless. And as you can see, I'm using my ending title card for my background because the lettering is small enough to where you can see I can hide it. Unfortunately, the text is embedded in the background, so I couldn't just, disable it. I meant to switch to this one, but whatever. I'm a boomer. But yes, and I will say again, Assassin's Creed Shadows is very, very... All right. You guys take care. God bless, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Until then, peace.
I am 30 or 40 years old, and I do not need this.